Kind of reminds me of what the nuns used to call me at Holy Spirit grade school. It's basically the Klingon version of the phaser, and despite their bloodthirsty tendencies, there's actually a stun setting on this thing. It's right here.
Lighten up, Frank.
It was only on stun.
Tonight on Neat Stuff, we take you to a Star Trek convention where the word reality has little meaning to these Trekkers. You'll meet the world's foremost Star Wars collector who likes to think of his Los Angeles home as Skywalker Ranch South. And we'll show you a store on LA's famed Melrose Avenue devoted to toy robots, where we'll have a surprise encounter with a full-sized automaton from television's past.
Warning, warning.
Joining us are our resident couch potatoes, Pat Carroll and Dave Nuttycombe. Yes, that's his real name. Special guest, Susan Olsen. You knew her as the youngest one in curls, Cindy, on the Brady Bunch. And that's me, Jim Leinfelder.
Beam us up, Scotty.
I'm from Pegasus 5.
I'm on vacation.
This is my only hobby, Star Trek.
Man, I can't believe all this stuff. Come on down here. What is it about Star Trek that sustains our imagination over all these years? I mean, in an era when a space shuttle flight barely gets you 30 seconds on the evening news, hundreds of Trekkies will make pilgrimages to conventions like this one in Burbank, California, where they revel in imaginary space travel. I'm standing here with a group of Klingons. I'm asking people for their favorite Star Trek catchphrase. Yours?
It was a matter of honor.
Revenge.
Revenge is best served cold.
Now, I go with the classics, the obvious, you know. I can't change the laws of physics, Captain. I've got to have 30 minutes. This is my theory, see, about Star Trek, is that for every moral question that one might encounter in life, there is a Star Trek episode that answers it.
It's like humanity. It is the human race.
Honor above all.
Kirk finds his planet's all molten rock, and all of a sudden
Kirk
this land
violated the Prime Directive every once in a while.
That is the bottom line. He screwed up that universe, okay? Now
Well, I think we learned that in Somalia.
Forget about the conflicts. Forget what's wrong over there. See if you can.
And you thought this was nothing but lightweight fantasy. This is very serious political science discussion going on here.
There's going to be conflict. You cannot escape that.
15,000 attending Trek fans can find everything from Franklin Mint ships to posters and photos to alien holograms. This event was so big, a sci-fi museum was set up on site by sci-fi addicts Jim Latta and Roger Sides. This is Commander Spock's tunic.
It's an unusual piece because the 4 costumes here are from one specific episode, which is where the crew is being transported to a planet and some cosmic interference, and they end up on an alternate Enterprise, which is barbaric, and Spock has a Van Dyke. It's really great when a costumer saves items. So something like this to find like the original Uhura snake armlet with the gold sash. William Shatner down here with the medals, which this is 24-karat gold brocade.
Oh, what about a tribble? This looks like, you know, something that an enormous house cat coughed up.
The Tribble was designed by David Gerald for his production of Triple of Tribbles for Star Trek, and he kept a bunch of originals for himself. Okay, what we got here is the Tribble Borg. It was created as a joke.
Sort of the 23rd century version of a jackalope, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Now over here we got, you know, the communicator, the tricorder.
That's right, the tricorders, it's like a carry-all. It just does everything for you. In fact, I got an original drawing where 2 communicators fit inside the tricorder.
These shoes look like something Louis XIV might have been mincing around in at court. What are those?
No, actually, these are T'Pring's shoe from the old Star Trek episode of Mock Time. That's Spock's wife. We don't know where the costume is, but these are the original shoes that have come up through there.
Okay, my apologies to the French in that case. Okay, now here we have the Klingon dictionary, which, for those of you who don't speak fluent Klingon, Bang Yaz Iyo Hupu. I accidentally killed the officer. I'm just sitting here with Joyce Mason. She was nice enough to offer me a chair at her booth. And we're just talking Trek. And in fact, that's what Joyce does. You have a cable talk show called
Talk Trek.
When it comes to Star Trek, there's like Star Trek, the original, which is like the Old Testament. Then you got Star Trek, the Next Generation. That's like New Testament. And then the other shows, I don't know, they're like Mormons maybe or something. You pointed out a distinction to me
Absolutely.
between a Trekkie
Right.
and a Trekker.
Right.
Explain that.
Okay, the Trekkie is the person who wears Spock's ears and believes he's Spock. The Trekker wears the Spock ears and loves the Enterprise, but he knows he's not going to be beamed up
Okay.
because he knows he's not Spock.
So one is a pathology and the other one's a hobby.
Exactly.
You know, when we first arrived at the convention, I have to admit all this Trekker stuff struck me as, well, quite frankly, for dweebs. But after you've been around it for a while, it all starts to make sense. Sadly, now we must go. Commander Lika, warp factor 7.
Oh, here it is. The Los Angeles Bureau of the Wall Street Journal.
Excuse me, my name's Jim Leinfelder. I'm with Neat Stuff, and I'm here looking for a guy named Steve Sansweet.
He's the bureau chief here, yeah.
Any signs of his Star Wars obsession?
No, not in the office.
Hi, excuse me, Steve?
Yeah.
Hi, Jim Leinfelder, Neat Stuff.
Oh, hi, Jim.
We've heard about your Star Wars collection. We're here to do a story.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I'm looking around the office here, and I see some nice little items, but I'm not seeing anything Star Wars here.
Well, this is the Wall Street Journal, you know. It's not the Lucasfilm Journal. My Star Wars stuff is at home.
Well, can you step away for a few hours?
Well, I think so. It's close to the end of the day. Why don't we take a look?
You're the bureau chief, after all.
Okay.
A
couple of Star Wars things here and there.
Few things, but this isn't exactly what I was expecting,
Well,
Steve.
come on along, come on along.
And there's a light here. Oh, wow, so this is it, huh?
No, Jim, you're still not quite there yet. This is some of the other stuff, non-Star Wars.
Pick up the pace.
Pacing.
I'm finding it a little hard to believe there's actually more to the collection. I mean,
Just be careful. You have to watch out for the stormtrooper.
why am I not surprised?
There we go.
Don't let this guy fool you. Oh, sure, he plays his Star Wars pinball game with the abandon of a teenager.
No!
But don't be naive. Steve Sansweet looks at Star Wars merchandise with the same level of scrutiny that investors bring to the Wall Street Journal stock listings.
This piece, which sold for about $3 new, is now getting somewhere between $500 and $800, which is crazy.
He's got Star Wars movie props.
I sort of consider myself Skywalker Ranch South. If something happens up there, I've got at least a couple of pieces down there.
A backup collection.
That's right.
Sansweet has literally written the book, 2 of them in fact, on Star Wars collecting. This guy's got a serious Star Wars Jones.
A journalist does not make a fortune in his job, and so the rising California housing prices enabled me to refinance the house several times, and I used that money mainly to buy Star Wars stuff.
Do you tell the banker that when you come in to...
Oh,
sign the
well, not exactly. They usually don't ask, so I usually don't say.
This is for a C-3PO helmet.
Something like that, something like that.
It's been money well spent, though. You're not likely to see neat stuff like this anyplace else.
Here's a speeder bike helmet from Return of the Jedi.
Right,
And
weaving
it-
through all the trees.
Well, I don't think this guy quite made it.
Yeah.
He didn't weave close enough. His eyepiece is shattered. Here's a Han Solo prop gun. Here we have some pieces of the famous Death Star. Doesn't want to come out. These are the holographic chess pieces from the first movie, Leia's wrist communicator. These are C-3PO's hands.
I won't even ask what he did when he had to go to the men's room.
This, of course, is the father.
Yes.
Darth Vader. This costume was actually used in the making of The Empire Strikes Back. And, of course, this is not an authentic lightsaber. They didn't use a neon tube. That would be a little difficult.
Wouldn't last through many takes, I wouldn't think. Yeah, it's great. It's got good hand grips on it.
But this is a real lightsaber.
So this is what they really used.
This is a Jedi lightsaber. It was made for Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader's. And it's funny, I mean, they use found objects all over the place. The blade is actually a German surplus tank antenna with the perfect dimensions.
The Force is strong in this one. Not.
And there are very special figures that are...
Wait a minute here. This may be a bootleg here.
Yeah, that's...
Steve Sansweet action figure.
That's not,
Give me a break.
not available at your neighborhood store. Me as a Jedi Master, yes. I'm afraid, while I may aspire to that, I'm not quite there yet.
I think he's gone around the bend here, folks.
Answer needs stuff. If it's scarce, loud, and distasteful, we want to see it.
All right, joining me in the back of the truck now, Doug Bundy. Hey, thanks for coming, Doug. Doug is a Star Wars collector, a Star Wars enthusiast from way back when he was young, as opposed to the advanced age he's reached now. But the most significant thing is what grew out of this that his father built for him, his very own X-Fighter. When you were what age, would you figure?
I got it for Christmas when I was 8.
Wow, every kid's dream. But he didn't just stop there. He didn't just play with it. No. He made his own Star Wars video with that. So with no further ado, let's roll the video.
Major Alexander P. de Seversky, one of aviation's most far-sighted pioneers, unveils his latest brainchild. This strange device is a model of his Ionocraft, a flying platform which he says could be put into operation 60 miles above the Earth. It draws its propulsion energy from the sun or light sent from the Earth. The top of the platform is energized and power is drawn from the bottom. The smoke shows how the platform, with no moving parts, creates its own lift. The Major says one platform above New York, another above Los Angeles, would permit direct television communication. It could intercept intercontinental missiles. The inventor says the Ionocraft would throw a curtain of safety around the U.S.
Hi, I'm Susan Olsen, your Neat Stuff correspondent, and I'm on Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles, and I'm in front of the Wound & Wound Toy Company. And inside it's filled with all of our old childhood memories of what we thought the future would be like. Hello,
Hi.
Jody.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm Susan Olsen for Neat Stuff.
You're from...
Yeah, Partridge Family. Yeah. Anyway, this stuff is great. Gosh, some of these robots look really old.
This robot is an original robot from
wow.
the 50s, which was one of the first battery-operated robots. I like battery animated toys, things that do things. My robots walk, either wind up or battery, and that's basically what I like. Tin, of course, is the best. There's great, great humor in science fiction toys. This is about a perfect example of like a really great space humor. It's kind of cartoony, it's ridiculous, and yet it's got a great look. Flying saucers are great. This is one of my favorite toys. This is Strange Explorer, and when you turn it on, let's see, you have...
Oh my gosh.
It rolls over and you have your really bad, cheesy King Kong comes out. And that's why I like it so much, because it's so bad.
I had a very nice robot at one time, but he got a little bit too loved. So first his arm came off, then his leg came off, and his face got bashed in, and he ended up in the trash. I want one of these.
A lot of robot people are very pure. So they like the tin, but they can't get their fix all the time because it's too expensive and there's not that many around and there's not that many new pieces around. So they're getting into the plastic only because they want a new robot. And there's one piece at the end that's kind of fun. It's this red piece right here, which is very typical of an older robot from the 50s.
That's what my robot looked like.
And this is plastic with a tin chest, but the reason this is a great robot, it's made in Russia.
Wow.
Which is kind of very unusual to have.
Wow.
It's a Russian piece.
Well, he's red.
Putting everything in perspective, these are not just toys, they're an art.
Jim, what are you
Hi,
doing
Susan.
here?
I'm just doing a little shopping.
I thought this was my segment.
Oh, it is. I'm just here to pick something up.
You gonna buy that?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. It's their last one. Here, look, watch what this thing does.
Oh, it's so cute.
Warning, warning, alien approaching.
Oh my gosh, I don't believe it. It's the robot from Lost in Space.
Affirmative.
Wow, you're right. Hey, Robot, what have you been up to since they canceled the series? What, dinner theater?
Negative. Jim, Susan, I have been making guest appearances on programs such as this one. After all, according to my calculations, I am the mechanical embodiment of neat stuff.
Oh, you are.
Affirmative.
Being a Brady, that was fun, but deep down inside I always secretly fantasized about being a Robinson. I just loved all those space adventures. They looked like so much fun.
Negative. While you Bradys were safe in your AstroTurf backyards, the Robinsons and I were being chased by interplanetary hillbilly werewolves and attacked by a large humanoid carrot.
You know, when you think about it, he had a point. I think you were better off in the backyard with Alice. Hey, Robot, great to see you. You haven't changed a bit over the years. Keep up the regular lube jobs. You know, I think I had one of those humanoid carrots in my salad earlier.
I think you did.
Oh, warning, 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 Will Robinson. Warning, Dr. Smith. Warning, Jim. Warning, Susan. It's neat stuff.
According to the British weekly The New Scientist, the Japanese Livestock Research Institute has developed a very small breed of pigs to be used as astronauts. These unusually small swine will be manning future NASA space flights. The pigs are also being studied by the Agricultural Research Council in Cambridge, England, to determine what makes them bored, what makes them happy, and how to help them sleep comfortably. UFO sightings have been reported in different parts of the world as far back as 1897. That year, a Kansas farmer named Alexander Hamilton reported seeing a 300-foot cigar-shaped object hover over his cow pasture, lasso one of his cattle, and fly off with the purloined bovine. That same year, a large object was sighted in the sky over Topeka by as many as 200 people, including the governor, who, when asked for comment, said, "I don't know what that thing is, but I hope it may yet solve the railroad problem."
Princess Leia soap.
Not.
Neat.
I used to have some of that.
Oh, yeah.
I had Luke. Yeah, so it's pretty neat.
Not neat.
Not neat.
Not neat.
That boy. Not.
Neat.
Nah.
Oh, neat.
What is he?
It borders on offensive.
Oh, no.
If her first word is neat, you win $100, by the way.
All right.
There
We
you
know
go.
that was neat.
Yeah.
That's neat, isn't it?
You know, there's so much neat stuff that relates to science fiction. In fact, you know, back where I live in Portland, Oregon, they've got an entire museum devoted to UFOs.
Warning, warning, Jim Leinfelder. Your time is running out.
Yeah, I can read a watch, pal.
Huh.
That's how Dr. Smith used to handle this guy. You bubble-headed booby. See you next week.